Hi, Davy. I'm awesome. Welcome to Davy's Awesome Stories, where I tell funny stories from my past or go on a rant in an effort to make you laugh. And this year, it's more of a rant to dispel a myth that has been around for too long. See, when I was growing up, every kid, we all heard the same myth from our parents, which was, okay kids, go have a fun Halloween, go from house to house, get lots of candy, but just be careful, there might be razor blades in it! And as kids, it terrified us. Like, razor blades, what? Really? We could just be sitting there munching candy and get a razor blade in our mouth? Oh my gosh! But as kids, we believed everything. Our parents told us that, we believed them. But as I got older, I actually started thinking about it and started asking the question. Based on the fact that I went out trick-or-treating until I was, I want to say 14 was the last time I went out and trick-or-treated. You guys had your friends and stuff. I had candy. But all the way from before I can remember to 14 years old, getting candy, never once was there anything wrong with any of them. So I would start asking people, like, hey, has anybody ever had a razor blade in their candy? And the answer was either no or I didn't. But I know someone who did. It's always I know someone who knows someone. It's never I know someone. Never personally. It's never like, oh yeah, that happened to Joe. Or oh yeah, that happened to Kelly. No, it's always either Joe knows somebody or Kelly knows somebody who it happened to. Kelly and Joe are lying to you. Because here's the thing. I have asked so many people, starting from that point when I was a kid, still trick-or-treating, somewhere in the middle there. Since then, I talked about it. I used to do stand-up comedy. I used to do this bit around October. I would ask audiences, and it was always small audiences. I didn't stick to doing stand-up comedy long enough to get big. But some of those audiences would be like 5, 6 people, not gonna lie. Some of those audiences, it would be like 30, 40 people. But I'd ask that question. Then social media came around. It started on MySpace. I posted it out there for all my friends to see, asking the question, waiting for a response. Hey, Halloween's coming up. Just wondering, has anybody ever had a razor blade in their candy? I've gone on the Facebooks and asked, has anybody ever had a razor blade in their candy? I've gone on the Twits and asked, has anybody ever had a razor blade in their candy? I've looked through the Reddits. I've looked through the TikToks. Heck, I've talked about this before in videos that, are no longer up, but on the YouTubes, I've put it out there. Has anybody ever had a razor blade in their candy? And not once have I ever gotten the response. Yeah, there was a razor blade in my candy. Well, we got home, took a Snickers, bit into it, and there was a razor blade. Tore my mouth to shreds. But, got some stitches, it all healed, and I was like, oh, there's my pumpkin full of candy. Went and grabbed some candy, and there was another in the Milky Way! It was at that moment that my mom finally threw it out. Yeah, that's never happened. Ever. Asking people individually, asking audiences, asking social media platforms, specifically them. Because I will give you this, if you go search it, there's always something about somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody. Or maybe they say they particularly knew somebody, but hate to break it to you, just because it's on the internet doesn't make it true. You gotta ask people you know. But still, never know one person who got a razor blade in their Snickers. That would be such a difficult crime to commit. Because think about it, you'd have to get a razor blade. And to get it in the Snickers, you'd have to take the Snickers out of the package. You'd have to insert the razor blade into the Snickers. And then somehow you'd have to reseal the package. Which means you'd have to be really, really, really crafty for us to not notice that the package was tampered with. But then how are you doing the Snickers? Are you melting more chocolate and putting it over there so we can't see that something was pushed into it? The only way I can imagine that's possible is if somebody made a homemade candy bar and put a razor blade in it. So, okay, be a little iffy if it's a homemade candy bar, but I don't know a whole lot of people who give out homemade candy bars on Halloween. My wife can make a homemade candy bar, but I don't even think she's going to go through the hassle of making that many to pass out. So ultimately, just tell your kids, like, if the wrapper looks like it was opened, or if it looks like somebody, put something in the bar, which would be very possible, don't eat it. But it's never happened. Not once. Ever. And I found out where this myth came from. The myth came from there was a Halloween where a child died who had been poisoned. Not a razor blade, poisoned. And the father claimed that somebody had poisoned his pixie sticks. And throughout the investigation, it turned out that father was full of crap. That was his alibi, because he's the one who poisoned his son. But in reality, even if they tried to poison the candy, you're going to notice the wrapper is opened. So just tell your kids, don't eat something with an open wrapper. And if your kid does anyway, well, I'm sorry for your loss, but it was probably best for all of us anyway. Because even at that age, I'm not a genius kid or nothing, but I wasn't going to eat a candy bar that looked like it had been opened. But I remember talking about this before my mom died, and she had to throw out the story that she was telling us since we were kids. It wasn't in the candy. The razor blades were in the apples. Who in the hell is giving out fruit on Halloween? That's just dumb on so many levels. Don't get me wrong, I love fruit, but especially as a kid, I didn't want you giving me apples. I wanted freaking candy. And the kind of kids I grew up with, if you tried to give them fruit, you were going to get it back through your window. Nobody gave out fruit. But my mom said in her day that wasn't uncommon to give out an apple or something. Well, I'm sorry your generation sucked, but ours knew better. Give out chocolate or Jolly Ranchers or Tootsie Rolls or something. Don't give us apples. And again, thinking of that, it just doesn't make any sense. Because again, to get a razor blade into the apple, you'd have to get a double-sided razor. You'd have to shove it into the apple. How did you not notice there was a slit in your apple? Like, I'm not going to say that I examine every apple that I ever get, but I definitely look at the apple enough to where I'm going to notice a slit in the freaking apple. If you noticed a slit in the apple and you just went, looks like there's a cut in my apple. Should be fine. Then you deserve to lose your gums. Because how are you going to disguise that? You're going to get some food coloring and put red over it? It's not going to work. You're going to notice. You're either going to think that somebody shoved something in there or that the apple's going rotten. Either way, don't eat it. But of course, I believed my mother when she first told me that as a kid, because you believe everything your parents tell you. But as I grew up, I started to think about it. And I think I was 16, obviously not trick-or-treating anymore. But it finally came to me. I was like, Mom, you say that it was hidden in apples. You tell us this story of a girl who bit into an apple and suddenly blood was gushing out of her mouth. Did you know this girl? Not personally, but my friend knew her. That's what I thought. Friend of a friend. Are you suggesting my friend lied to me? Yes. Kids lie to each other. It's what we do. Heck, in 5th grade, I had a friend who had told me that he'd already slept with 20 different girls. Nowadays, I'm going to say he was probably lying. I lied to kids. My dad told me he did martial arts. I took it a step further and basically told people my dad was Chuck Norris. He wasn't. We told lies that we didn't even know were lies because somebody told us them and we thought they were true, and then later we grow up and realize, yeah, they were probably full of crap. They're kids. But again, it's never you knew somebody directly. It's always they knew somebody who knew somebody. It didn't happen! And the thing is, I think I know where this myth came from. It's what my generation's parents used as an excuse to eat your candy. Because that was the thing about Halloween. We'd go out, we'd have our pillowcases and stuff, get a bunch of candy, go home. Our parents would make us dump out the pillowcase, look through all of our candy, but not like really inspect it, just kind of like, and occasionally they would grab one and go, hold on guys, this little pack of Rolos looks a little iffy. Give me just a second. No razor blades. If I'm alive in 30 minutes, your candy should be fine. I hate to break it to you guys, but when you were growing up, you were kids, your parents were just telling you that so they had an excuse to take some of your candy. But we've grown up and we've corrected this. I don't lie to my kids. I have told each one of my kids, if you see a piece of candy that looks at all sketchy, looks like the wrapper was tampered with or something, don't eat it. But ultimately, I take their candy, but I don't make up an excuse like I'm doing it to protect them. I just straight up tell them, I am old, I have a bad back, I have bad knees, and yet I walked around with you guys in that freezing cold from house to house to house getting candy. I'm not stealing your candy, this is a candy tax. Now hand over the peanut butter cup. So the moral of this rant, There's no razor blades in your candy. So there you have it. That's my story video this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Hit the little bell so you get notifications when I post the videos. And leave a comment I can respond to in my next comment corner. If you know somebody who actually did bite into a razor, by all means, be the first person to tell me that you know somebody. But don't tell me you know somebody who knows somebody. Because no, you don't. Love you guys.